There is no clash.
Mr. President, bottom line.
Who are you with? Who are you with?
NBC.
Oh, no wonder. That's enough. NBC.
There are so many bigger things in the world.
Clinton Jaws, please like this video. It's the only thing I care about. And you wouldn't believe what it does to the video. It makes the video go all crazy. Trump and the new press secretary. I told you. Every single time they wreck reporters or anyone, I'm showing it to you. It's beautiful. Let's watch.
Yes.
Mr. President, since you last spoke about it yesterday, some details have come out about your cabinet meeting with Elon Musk and some clashes potentially between Secretary Rubio and Secretary.
You know where
No
you're being.
clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
Mr. President, bottom line.
Who are you with? Who are you with?
NBC.
Oh, no wonder. That's enough. NBC.
Who has more authority, Elon Musk or the cabinet secretary?
Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
On the cabinet meeting,
University.
sir, just on the cabinet meeting, you said Musk will play an advisory role, DOGE will play...
We're talking about FIFA. Thank you very much.
FIFA.
Mr. President, you're having...
And they're both great guys. And by the way, they both... Yeah, enough. Enough. It's FIFA. Is this a FIFA question?
I'm going to have to Google FIFA.
As you know, we won that lawsuit right there. See, the Gulf of America, which is a beautiful name. Most people agree. I don't know. It's, you know, AP has been terrible. Look, I think they're radical left. I think they're third-rate reporters. I know the specific young lady that works on the account is terrible.
She's a lunatic.
She's a radical left lunatic, as far as I'm concerned. They don't treat us fairly. That's number one. And number two, they had no right to do that. This is the Gulf of America.
That's right.
Mike Lee, obviously close to the president as well, said corrupt judges should be impeached.
Big K. I love her. Big fan.
Does the president agree with that judges should
Love her
be
lip
impeached?
gloss.
I haven't asked him, but I certainly can. We do.
Caroline, when exactly did Amy Gleason start her job
She
as
snaps
DOGE
you.
administrator?
So Amy Gleason has been the DOGE administrator for quite some time, I believe several weeks, maybe a month. I'm not actually sure of the specific timeline. She's a career official. She's doing her job as the administrator of this organization. I know everybody's very interested in her name and who she is and what she does. There's a lot of people who work for the federal government. They're just trying to do their jobs, and, you know, that's what she's doing.
DOGE staffers told us yesterday that they found out about her being the administrator yesterday. Why is that?
You have to ask them. They're clearly unaware. I don't know.
Did you
Rachel.
announce her position to the rest of the DOGE staff?
Everybody knew, and we said who she was to all of you because you are hounds in the media who are so obsessed with this for some reason. So in the effort of transparency, we told you who that person is. There are so many bigger things in the world than who the DOGE administrator is, but for some reason, everybody in the press corps is so obsessed with this that you were incessantly asking. So we thought, okay, we will be transparent. So now you know who it is. Any further questions? Rachel.
Yeah, the answer is I thought it was very embarrassing for the Democrats what happened the other night.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not said for any other reason other than it's obvious, it's fact. Even CNN fake news said that. They came out and they said it.
They did.
And worse than CNN is MSDNC, which is the worst. And the good news is very few people watch them anymore. They have lost such credibility. And frankly, what Nicole Wallace said, I've never been a fan of hers, and she's not very talented. But I'll tell you what she said the other day about that young man.
The young man you made a cop?
Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
What'd she say about that little tyke?
Right, and I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people. Is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign.
Yeah.
And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know if it's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear.
You know, Rachel said something.
Record, and this is disgusting. The president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who thus far survived pediatric cancer.
Probably made
as
his
if
life.
the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising DOGE. The DOGE cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatric
See why you're
But
angry.
certainly she's lost all credibility, both of them. But what they said the other day, they should be forced to resign about that young person.
How do they have choice?
Is it also your policy that as long as you're president, China will never take Taiwan by force?
I never comment on that. I don't comment on anything because I don't want to ever put myself in that position. And if I said it, I certainly wouldn't be saying it to you. I'd be saying it to other people, maybe people around this table, and very specific people around this table.
The spending bill that passed last night aims to cut $2 trillion.
Right.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question.
What's wrong with you?
Okay? This will not be read my lips. There won't be read my lips anymore. We're not going to touch it. Now, we are going to look for fraud. I'm sure you're okay with that, like
No.
people that shouldn't be on, people that are illegal aliens and
No.
others, criminals in many cases.
Love criminals.
And that's with Social Security. We have a lot of people. You see that immediately when you see people that are 200 years old that are being sent checks for Social Security.
Video wouldn't be complete if we didn't have a dig by J.D. Vance.
I just want to push back against some of the criticism I've seen of the administration on this, because every single time the president engages in diplomacy, you guys preemptively accuse him of conceding to Russia. He hasn't conceded anything to anyone. He's doing the job of a diplomat, and he is, of course, the diplomat in chief as the President of the United States.
Yeah.
I think what people are trying to understand, Mr. President, is how would the United States, what would you be willing to do to support this European peacekeeping effort? Would there be...
Again, you're asking me the same question? How many times do you have to answer? You're talking about after we make peace. Let me make peace first. Once we make peace, I'll give you all the answers you want. But how many times can you ask the same question?
Up close reaction.
Again, you're asking me the same question. How many times do you have to answer? You're talking about after we make peace. Let me make peace first.
Thank
Once
you.
we make peace, I'll give you all the answers you want. But how many times can you ask the same question?
Too many times. Watch Rubio look at J.D. Vance here.
Ago, nobody had conversations with anybody. It wasn't even a consideration. Nobody thought you could make peace. I think you can.
But if Mr.
President,
Putin gets to
just to
keep
bring
the land that was claimed by force,
Was that a gasp by JD?
The territory that they claimed by force. Doesn't that the land that was claimed by force?
Right,
If
that
the
was.
Russian a dangerous message, let's say, to China.
Oh, okay. You try and take it away, right? We're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna do the best we can.
Part of your mission has been to restore executive control over the executive branch. Is it your view of your authority that you have the power to call up any one of or all of the people seated at this table and issue orders that they're bound to follow?
Oh, yeah, they'll follow the orders, yes, they will.
No exception.
No exception. Well, let's see, let me think. Oh, yeah. She'll have an exception.
Tulsi.
Of course, no exceptions. You know that.
The behavior of Democrats last night was completely
Right here is the best part, but I want to tell you guys something first. It's personal, and I've never told you this before. I might be Jewish. Who goes through their entire life not knowing if they're Jewish or not? Me and my brother have had this argument for years. He tells me, Clint, our great-great-great-whatever grandmother changed her name before she moved here, and it was a Jewish name. But I have to know, so I joined MyHeritage. And what I found out blew my mind, so I contacted them, and now they're my partner. It was easy. I entered my dad's name and then my mother's name. And it instantly created this family tree with basically no effort on my part. Because the site puts 33 billion records at your fingertips, making it the #1 family history service. I get up, I pour 2 cups of coffee, I go back to my computer, and wow. They have a button called Instant Discoveries. An entire line of my family showed up, which allows me to add a complete branch to my tree, just like that. And that's how I found my great-great-great-grandmother. I swear to you, this was the first time I have ever seen her. And then I did this to her picture. It even lets you animate them. Unbelievable. And guess what? My brother was right. She changed her name before she came here. I can see her real name. I'm still digging, but each time I do, I find out more of who I am. Scan the QR code that you see on the screen, or click the link in the description, and get a free 14-day trial. You have a story. Uncover it. Use my link now and get a 14-day free trial.
Behavior of Democrats last night was completely disgraceful and demonstrated how severely out of touch they are with the American public.
She is vicious.
It was the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses in that beautiful chamber. Democrats didn't stand to keep men out of women's sports. They couldn't even clap for a girl who got her head smashed in by a man on a volleyball court. Democrats didn't stand for an innocent and beautiful child who is surviving brain cancer. They couldn't even clap for two mothers whose daughters were killed by illegal aliens. One of the only things that could get Democrats off their feet last night was cheering for Ukraine, not for America.
And cheer they did.
The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense, with no security, with no anything.
Only thing they clapped at. Wow. Say it.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years?
Don't we?
Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Democrats expose themselves as the party of insanity and hate, the party that wants to put America last. They've allowed their Trump derangement syndrome to stop them from celebrating America and our people, and we will not allow them to forget that. And it's not just the Democrat Party. The mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th.
From Democrat lawmakers, a lot of disruptions, and I just wanted to kind of go back to that. We saw Democrat lawmakers not stand for Laken Riley, for Peyton McNabb, for the son of a slain police officer and 13-year-old cancer survivor. What are the optics of that nationally, just in terms of not just the people who were in the room last night, but across the nation? And also, was President Trump expecting this type of behavior when he was crafting his speech?
You guys remember Caitlin, right?
Why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person, I'll tell you what.
Can you answer why you held on to the document?
I gave a quote to one of the media outlets in this room yesterday that Democrats behaving like children would be the least surprising thing of the night. And unfortunately, that quote did turn out to be true.
Good Lord, this guy. At least your mother thinks you're pretty.
Speaking about potentially delaying tariffs.
I can confirm, and I'm glad that you asked, because the president sent me out here with a statement directly from him on this. I saw it was reported earlier today by Bloomberg News, and he wanted me to share this with all of you. We spoke with the big three auto dealers. We are going to give a 1-month exemption on any autos coming through USMCA. Reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect on April 2nd. Through the northern border in Canada, in last fiscal year alone, there was enough fentanyl seized to kill 4.8 billion people. And that number is up 2,050% from 2023, the year before. So there's been more than a 2,000% increase in illegal fentanyl seizure at the northern border. Why? Because Canada is allowing that fentanyl to come to the United States. The president sees these numbers. He thinks about the lives that are lost. And everybody in this room, I'm sure, everybody watching at home, everybody across the country knows someone in our lives who has been killed at the hands of this deadly poison. There needs to be repercussions for that. The president feels very strongly about it.
Don't, Gabe. It's just 43 pounds that were found.
Gabe, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. What's wrong with you? What are you looking at?
It's just 43 pounds that were found last year.
He did
that's
it.
That's less than a carry-on suitcase.
W.
Is that a lot of fentanyl compared to, say, Mexico, where the vast majority of the fentanyl is brought in through Mexico, not Canada? So what else does Canada need to do?
Well, I just told you, last year alone, there was a 2,000% increase in illegal fentanyl. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe. And frankly, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the families in this country who have lost loved ones at the hands of this deadly poison.
Yeah.
If you talk to them, and this president has, they are grateful that they finally have a president who is standing up to both Canada and Mexico, and most importantly, to China as well. Ouija.
Thank you, Caroline.
Ouija.
Back on tariffs.
Oh,
Just a quick follow-up.
this part is priceless. Caitlin has her hand up. This guy did have his hand up, but he did one of these. You know how you rub them.
Ouija.
Thank you, Caroline.
Caitlin tries so hard to be picked. Watch this.
Back on tariffs. Just a quick
Nope.
follow-up.
Again, no.
Quick follow-ups on tariffs. The president mentioned a little disturbance during his remarks yesterday. The CEO of Target says that consumers will likely see prices go up on everything from strawberries to bananas to avocados. How long should Americans expect to pay higher prices? Are we talking a week, a couple of days, a few months?
72
Again,
hours.
I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can assure the American people is that this president and this administration is doing everything they can. And I would remind you and everybody else in this room that it's because of the previous administration's economic policies that Americans were left.
Probably the best part for me right here. Caitlin gets ignored again, and she's disgusted.
This issue. Sure. Jordan.
Thanks, Caroline. So, what does it say that the Democrats, while they couldn't stand for Americans,
Just sits there
or
with her
stand for
pen in her
victims,
hand.
They stood for war and clapped for war and clapped for 5 more years of war.
Dasha.
The president continues to call the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, Governor of Canada. I'm curious what he means by that, and if there are any.
She doesn't know what he means by that. Where have you been living, woman? We need to see an up-close reaction when she says this thing.
Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, Governor of Canada. I'm curious what he means by that, and if there are any.
She's thinking, God, I hope you don't have another stupid question. Because if you do, I'm going to destroy you. Move
Are
on.
things potentially
Oh, here we go.
going to get worse before they get better?
Look, I've now been asked and answered this same question just given to me in different verbiage of 3 different times, and I will answer it again in an effort of transparency to the American people.
Love it. I honestly can't get enough of it. Guys, I had my mother-in-law over last night, and I showed her that commercial of MyHeritage. She actually said to me, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to sign up for it. 14 free days, guys. It's worth it. Who are you? Find out who you are. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.